Oh, baby. Oh, that was a good one. Welcome back, Fireside Faithful.
We back.
You notice something new? Something exciting? We're standing. Pretty crazy.
Trying to be less sedentary on this podcast.
Yeah, we're from America, anyone who's not, so we gotta make sure we're keeping our fitness up, you know?
Absolutely.
We got an issue. No, but we're trying something new. We're taking a page pretty much straight out of Pat McAfee's book. We are also as good at him as he is. We are good. We are as good as he is at this job.
Nice start, Sean.
And English.
Yeah, English is a tough language.
Pat McAfee, like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Get
Pat,
some inspiration from us.
If you want us on the show, we are from Pittsburgh. We know you got a guy already, but hey, we'll help you out. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
So we are recording this on a Tuesday, the day before Liverpool and Villa finish up the double game week 25 game. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about. We got transfer news. We got a new segment. We're doing Heroes and Zeros. And we're going to end it off with some Game Week 26 players that we like. So let's jump right in. But before that, how my boys doing?
Sad.
What?
Sad.
You're sad too?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, my team still stinks, and
Well,
my favorite player's hurt. You know, it's just sadness.
And my team's part of a league that's full of corruption, so.
Huh. All right.
Kind of nothing to look forward to in life right now.
Highly positive start, Sean.
Yeah.
My team tied Munich in a very uneventful game, so I'm kind of sad because they're not going to win the league now. But
Your team has dominated Munich for the last 2 years.
I know.
I think they've won 3 and tied 3. So
Listen, they're managed by a guy that got relegated last year, so anything's possible. They could go off the rails at any point.
Said Vincent Kompany is not a good coach. He just has the best team money can buy in the Bundesliga.
Vince
Yeah.
Wong. He fell today. Did he see that? Maybe it was
fell?
a different day. Tried to kick in the ball and he slipped on the field and fell.
What a defender.
Yeah.
What a
Saw it on
defender
Twitter.
he
I
is.
don't know. It was from today. Or a
Just
different
get
day.
relegated just for that.
Shout out social media.
Unbelievable. All right, so
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, Dave. As per usual, hit us with the transfers, man.
So some player movements so far this week. Some notable transfer ins. People still buying Justin Kluivert. That makes a lot of sense. Kaoru Mitoma is the third most transferred in player so far. Brighton looks to be back in a good wave of form after they took it to Chelsea this weekend.
Yeah, look good.
Mitoma's looked good lately. Ethan Nwaneri getting transferred in since everyone on Arsenal is hurt. He's shown us he can step in some big moments and make a difference. He's played really well so far.
Did he play 90? I didn't even catch if he played a full 90.
I'm not sure. Let me look
I feel
real
like
quick.
Arsenal was really mixing and matching there.
I feel like he did. Because Marino was a sub. Nwaneri did play the full 90
I was
minutes.
going to say Marino came in late. So,
Hero sub, if you will.
Yeah. You could say. You could say.
We've got Dango Utara, Chris
Dango
Wood,
Unchained.
Matthias Cunha, JP Mateta.
No. Why? It's a movie. I can say what I want.
Fair.
All those guys. My boy Cunha getting transferred in, scored again, second game in a row for him. Wolves' schedule about to turn nice, so that one makes a lot of sense. Dango scored, Chris Wood scored again, JP Mateta continued his hot run, so all those guys are getting moved in. If we go over to the outs, some sadness for me at the top. Amad Diallo, probably out for the year. Cody Gakpo, if you were counting on him for that double game week, sorry about that. Doesn't look like he's going to play against Villa either.
Nope.
So
Without double game weeks, that guy is really just not very good at FPL. Double game weeks have kept him on the radar, I think, for the last 2 weeks.
He's probably going to be on this transfer out list again next week, I would assume.
Bit of a disappointment for Liverpool.
This next guy we'll talk about more here in just a couple minutes, Cole Palmer. We have him on the pod team. I think I speak for all of us. We're a bit frustrated.
A little bit.
As I assume many owners that have him are. So we'll talk about him a little bit more. The other guys on here, not a lot of people are moving them out, but Isak and Gordon, just I'm assuming because Newcastle blanks and they've lost 3 out of 4. But probably the most notable guy who had the best game of anybody this past weekend, and that is the new man for Man City, Marmoush. Hat trick against Newcastle.
Yeah.
And Sean, I know you had some more thoughts on him.
Yeah, I did. It's going to take us right into the new segment. So, pretty simple segment, by the way. We didn't say it, but Hero Zero, pretty much, we're looking back at the weekend. Who killed it, came out on top versus the guys that we kind of thought were going to be good. and laid an egg. So pretty straightforward. But yes, my guy, my hero, Marmouche. I don't think that really. What? What are you laughing at?
It's just funny.
What's funny?
It's like he's my hero.
He is my hero.
Marmouche.
Can we call him the Egyptian prince?
Yeah,
Can you
that's
get that?
actually
Can
good.
you get that nickname?
Yeah.
We can't be
All
the king because there is already
There's
a king.
already an
Yeah.
Egyptian king. Let's
So
not step on any
nothing wrong with
toes.
the prince,
No, but
though.
that's good. Egyptian
Egyptian
prince,
prince.
and that's like a massive compliment to him because
Absolutely.
you're putting him there with.
Plus
Mr. Salah.
Plus it was a great movie in the 2000s.
That's true.
So, you know.
That's true.
Uh,
Nice reference.
But yeah, Omar Marmouche. He basically, I wouldn't say he came out of nowhere, but I don't think anyone expected him to get a 14-minute hat trick, which didn't just, win them the game, but it completely changed the game. Essentially took Isak out of the game, which I'm sure a lot of people were upset about who played him this week, because once they went down 3-0, the entire game plan changes, right? Nothing really goes well. I remember Isak maybe having one good opportunity after all that went down.
Yeah. Newcastle didn't create much.
No, there's nothing they could really do. But he was the biggest, or the most expensive EPL signing in the transfer window, $64.1 million, I believe. So,
Classic oil money right there.
well, yeah. City. So it's maybe it's a surprise for us. I don't think City's super surprised, right? They spent up to get this guy. They got him from Eintracht Frankfurt. He scored. I looked at these stats and I had to take a double take because I didn't realize how good he was doing. 15 goals in 17 Bundesliga games.
Yeah, he was killing it.
With 14 assists.
Jeez.
I know.
Yeah.
He also had 4 goals and 2 assists in 6 Europa games. So prove that he can do it against other competition outside of the Bundesliga. But on the hat trick itself, sometimes people get hat tricks and you're not that impressed with it. Pretty impressive hat trick all around. He got the first goal came from Ederson. Over the top, Trippier, terrible judgment on that ball. But a nice touch and then a technical finish. And by the way, I read Ederson. That makes him the number 1 EPL goalie ever in assists, which is a really cool stat for him.
Yeah.
So, goal.
There's some funny stats out there. Like Ederson has more EPL involvements than I forget who it was, but
Palmer.
It's like Anthony or whatever it was for United and
All right.
stuff
All right.
like that.
Not
So,
anymore.
yeah.
Now he's killing it.
Yeah.
Second goal, nice pass from Gundogan, but Marmouche got in position, nice cut into the right, deflection, but still it was a nice shot, so he deserved the goal. And then at the end, Savinho just absolutely torching Hall, which he basically did all day. Goes right past him, puts it into the middle. Marmouche finds the open space, big finish. It was a nice hat trick. He was very involved. He looked good. But City started off hot, right? Then they were bad. Now they're kind of hot again. If Marmouche can be a catalyst on a team that we know has talent, this guy's pretty interesting to me. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, the other good thing about him is that he's forward eligible, which is nice because I feel like between the injury, there's been so many injuries at the forward position, and just some guys not performing well that a lot of the ownership has funneled to 4 or 5 different guys. So it's nice to have another option. He's $7 million, so he's not cheap. He's kind of in that that mid price range.
It's a City effect, I'm guessing.
It's just nice to have another forward option that you can have some confidence in because, like you said, City looked very good going forward.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's the opposite of what you normally get, where he is a he's a midfielder or forward playing midfield, right? So he plays in the mid, but he doesn't take any of the negative effects for giving up goals. Normally it's the midfielders that play forward, which is what we normally get. So
Yep.
if I'm an FPL perspective, I'm not ready to buy in on them, especially because they're playing Liverpool this week. Other people don't see it that way, obviously. But expected involvement's slowly been creeping up. He has yet to break 1, right? So I'm just not quite sold because we saw this with a guy like Enzo, right? Enzo came in, just went to town for Chelsea, fell off the map again. So I think Marmouche is probably a better player, but I want to at least give it especially Liverpool, that's a test. If he looks good, then sure, it's probably time to buy because they have a nice schedule coming up, don't they, City?
They play Liverpool, and then they play Spurs and Forest, and then that till the end of the year
is
zero
smooth
concerns.
sailing.
And they have
yeah.
I think they have a double. There are 2 to consider.
Yeah, they yet to be seen if they get one later, but I think he's pretty much solidified himself in their starting 11.
Probably.
But we said the same thing about Savinho, and then for 3 games he
That's what I'm
didn't play.
saying.
So like,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's like
It's
but
a little concerning.
I don't know. I feel like Doku and Grealish have been pretty underwhelming. Same with Bernardo Silva. I mean, I feel like he earned himself at least a run of games here with his performance.
for sure.
He's different from what they have.
Yeah.
No one else in that team right now is bringing that pace, bringing that just difference-making ability.
The goal threat from out there on the left.
So I think, to your point, he's going to be definitely a player to watch. But that is my hero, the Egyptian Prince. What do you guys got? Phil, who's your hero from the week?
My hero?
Yeah.
My hero is Mr. Verbruggen himself.
Yeah.
A week ago, we are talking about Gameweek 24. He concedes 7 goals on 3.4 expected goals.
Tough.
Goes against Chelsea. We know they can be really good offensively. Concedes 0 goals on 0.54 expected goals. He only had 1 save, but I think he intimidated the Chelsea player, so that's why they couldn't get anything on net.
He must have.
Yeah.
Man.
He was probably saying some
bad.
real mean stuff out there.
It was-
Clean sheet, BPS, 10 FPL points, and he has a decent, semi-okay run of fixtures coming up, so he's my hero. I think he can continue to be everyone's hero. I know we're going to play him this week, so a little song for you, Verbruggen. You can be our hero, baby. You can't improve our rank, oh yeah.
Oh, there's more. I was just kidding.
With your bonus points with saves. One more clean sheet, I beg.
You did a whole song.
Verbruggen, that's for you, baby. You're my hero.
Oh, come on, man. A whole song?
Let's go.
That was... God, you probably spent more time on that than research
No,
this
it
week.
can't. I'm a creative human. It came to mind. Boom. I'm not good at much else, but
I love that. All right, Dave, I don't know how you're going to follow that, but do your best.
It's going to be pretty
Who's your hero
underwhelming, to be honest. My hero this week is Beto from Everton.
okay.
Oh, we got a good buddy. Remember Dan Zabit?
Uh-huh.
He was telling us to pay attention. Beto's his guy.
Freaking Dan was right. But, 4 goals in his last 3. Everton are apparently the best team in the league now that David Moyes is back.
David Moyes, baby.
He's only started the last 3 games. His expected numbers look pretty good. Even in the draw against Liverpool, they were pretty good. He's really cheap. He's 4.9 million. It's like I was saying, if you're frustrated with Cole Palmer, you need to make changes elsewhere. Prepare for the the blank game week in game week 29. You can save a lot of money with this guy who, if you've watched Everton the last 3 or 4 weeks, has just generally played really well. He's gotten chances. Like I said, 4 goals in 3, so nothing too complicated here. But he plays Man United next week too, so we're not very good defensively.
Yeah, man, he's a good one because, again, Everton's probably that team right now that's probably overperforming, and no one's like, oh, Everton's really good. We're just seeing them win and win and win, and he's doing it, man.
The other nice thing about him is I mentioned the blank game week, so they get United at home, then Brentford and Wolves away, which is fine, and then West Ham at home.
Good.
And then after that, their schedule is about as bad as it can get starting in game week 30. And so you guys know I like logical, easy jumping off points for players that you're probably not going to keep on your team the whole year. Plus, people are probably going to wild card, between game week 30 and 31. So it's a nice, easy move to have them on your team for a month. Then you can drop them.
Love it.
Hey, if David Moyes has anything to say about it, the schedule's easy all the way around. Okay?
It appears to be that way. So
Ooh. All right. Now, hop over to the zeros. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, so this is going to come as no surprise to anyone. I mean, it's over 60% of people who have this guy. My zero this week, Cole Palmer. Chelsea laid an egg against a very beatable Brighton team. I watched the game, looked really uninspired. The team themselves looked uninspired. He had a chance or 2, but other than that, there wasn't a lot going on for him. Good news is the team has an upcoming schedule that's pretty easy, so maybe they can right this ship. But I think, and we mentioned it, I want to say a week or 2 weeks ago, the rating's kind of been on the wall. He had two blanks where he had no points. Then 2 weeks ago, he had 6 points, but it was a deflected own goal.
kind of a bogus assist.
So, yeah, if you saw it, points are points, but at the same time, you're not super inspired by that one, and then another blank. So it's just it doesn't look good right now, and that's actually, do you know, that's 2 losses in a row for Chelsea against Brighton. They lost in the 8th, and then they just lost again. They played them in the FA Cup, I think.
The Cup.
So Brighton owns them
2-1
right now.
2-1 and 3-0, right? I think.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but Brighton's owning them right now, which is.
I think every team is owning them right now, though.
That's a good point. But I just, the team themselves, like I said, they look terrible. I mentioned on Instagram, they haven't had a shutout since game week 17. They just replaced Sanchez with Jorgensen, who also got destroyed. So, not super encouraging. They don't look threatening up front now. We've talked about Nico Jackson being down for, 3 straight weeks now. From an FPL perspective, he's sitting at, I think 11.2 million. That's the 3rd highest price tag in FPL. And he's not producing what he needs to justify that. At a price like that, for me personally, I need a point return every game or every other game. Like that's a massive, massive price tag. And when you look at Chelsea, I'll ask you guys, when you look at Chelsea goalies, are you interested from FPL?
Goalies?
Yeah, Chelsea goalies interested?
No.
Any Chelsea defenders interested?
No.
Any Chelsea midfielder outside of Palmer right now, are you interested?
Throw Palmer in there, no.
No.
And then when we look at
they
forwards,
don't have any forwards.
Nico Jackson's not even getting the minutes. We know Madueke is getting some minutes, but neither of them can score a goal. So when you really look at the team, I know FPL is not real football, but I don't want anyone on that team except maybe Palmer. So it's just not a good situation right now.
It just sucks, like Madueke and Kunku, even Pedro Neto, who some people are hating on. I still think I like him a lot.
They're all decent players. It's just not blending.
But it just feels like so many teams don't have this set 11 that you can really trust, the expected minutes for. Yeah. And it's obviously making it hard to go for someone like Nkunku or Madueke because they could easily not start or just play 60 minutes and you're giving up a lot of precious time. So they're a tough team to.
Now that Madueke is hurt,
I
would hope that they give Nkunku a run up front. I mean, that seems to make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll see if that actually happens. But if he would get consistent minutes, I think I'd be interested in him. But obviously that's a pretty big hypothetical at this point.
All right, Dave. That's my zero. Who do you got this week? Who was your zero?
My zero, I went with Lewis Hall. But really, you could probably pick anybody on that Newcastle team. You mentioned it earlier, and I think I texted you guys about it that like Savio was just giving him fits down the right-hand side the whole game. So he was my zero. Not a whole lot to write home about for Newcastle in this one. His last 4 games haven't really been too inspiring, and that kind of coincides with Newcastle losing 3 of 4 now. So he was my zero for this week, and he's definitely someone I'm probably moving off of for a little while, given Forest and Liverpool and the blank game week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. Phil, zero. Who you got?
My zero is the rat himself, Bruno Fernandes.
The rat.
I mean, listen, I was high on him earlier on this season. He had a good stretch of games, but kind of going hand in hand with United, even though before he was their like kind of only shining star outside of Diallo when it comes to FPL. But just looking at last weekend, it's just such an uninspiring performance.
Team issue too.
I think he had 1 shot, he had 0 touches in the box, 0.02 expected goals, 0.46 expected assists, only 4 successful crosses. He's just really not doing anything, and it goes in line obviously with the team and kind of their entire energy out there.
Yeah.
But still, he's a guy that I think when you compare his numbers to someone like De Bruyne in the Premier League, who everyone have as like the best midfielder when it comes to like producing goals and assists, Bruno Fernandes actually I think's above him in goals and assists combined, right? Historically. So he's a guy that can produce, and he's just so uninspiring right now.
It's probably a frustration move too. Sure, it's frustration.
Tottenham was like the team to see Man United score against. We've seen a lot of teams put in numbers against them, and they just looked terrible. He didn't look good, and he's my big zero, and I wouldn't trust anyone on that team going forward until they turn it around, if they turn it around. So
Listen, man, we got to not get relegated, okay?
Now you got a new fight on your hands.
United battle relegation. That's
Gonna finish like 14th.
I love it.
you're lucky if you finish 14th.
I love it. Yeah, so that was Zeros and Heroes. Nice little quick section. Try and do that more often. But let's jump into some of our Game Week 26 picks. Some of the people, I think we're going all likes this week, right? I don't think we have anyone that we're really out on. But we got a couple guys we're interested in this week. So
And just to be clear, these are just guys we like for this next week.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
the near future.
Yeah, near future this week. I mean, I'm sure specify as we talk about them, but I have a guy that I like this week. I also have a guy that I like for the next couple weeks. So
we'll allow it.
We'll allow it.
Okay,
All right, Dave.
Sean.
Go for it.
You want me to go
seem
first?
Like you got a guy.
I do. Kind of under the radar guy that not many people have heard of. I'm gonna make sure I pronounce his name right. Erling Haaland.
You had me in the first
that
half.
it?
Who's him?
I don't know, but I think he's pretty
Yeah.
good.
You had me.
Does he come from Frankfurt with great numbers?
No,
No.
that's a different guy.
That was a good one, though.
But yeah, Holland people, his ownership went way down in the middle of the season when he hit that rough patch along with the rest of Man City.
Uh-huh.
I was telling you guys before we started this today, that Newcastle game looked like what you think Man City should look like.
Yeah.
I think they found their best, I'll call it front six in their 4-2-3-1, and I think Nico Gonzalez is like the key to that formation because he's
Another purchase.
really can play that holding midfield role that they've been missing. They just looked so much more balanced in this game against Newcastle. I thought him and Gundogan to me that's their best pairing in the middle. Kovacic and Bernardo Silva doesn't work. I think we've seen enough of that. I think Marmoush, Foden, and Savio and Holland up front. I think that's their best group of attackers. But
Group.
Holland is back in goal scoring form. He's got 6 goals in 6 games, and I think this is the time to jump back in on somebody from City, whether it's Marmoush, Foden, Guardiola, Holland. I think you should have somebody from City on your team, especially with the blank coming up. I know that Man City play Liverpool next week, and I know their schedule after that also isn't great. And I don't really care about that.
I wouldn't let it scare you
They
away.
play Liverpool, Spurs, and then Forest, and I think they're catching Liverpool at the right time. You talked a couple weeks ago about how Liverpool are playing like a zillion games over the next 2 weeks.
A lot of games.
They didn't look great against Wolves, especially in the second half. They're in a super congested part of their schedule, so it's kind of not like a must-have game for City because they're not catching Liverpool, but I think they could get second. They no-showed the last time in this situation against Arsenal. I don't think they're going to no-show again based on what they looked like against Newcastle. Keep an eye on Holland for like injury updates because he did come out with a few minutes left in that game. It seems like he's fine, but just keep an eye on that. But
played a lot of minutes.
Probably prevention for the UCL.
Yeah, they do play Madrid tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I am going to try to figure out a way to get Holland back on my team because I think City could be hitting their stride here over the next couple of weeks.
I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect time for maybe Palmer to Holland.
Yeah, if you're sick of Palmer, that's a real easy way to clear the money out that you probably need since Holland is kind of expensive.
I love it, Dave. I love it. All right, I'll go next because I want to, so I'm going to.
Rude.
I got a deep sleeper. Our buddy Luke, he's gonna love this one. All those T-Ham fans out there. I'm looking at Mathis Tell. What are you laughing at?
T-Ham.
T-Ham, baby. Tottenham's such a long word, you know.
It's a lot of syllables.
So, for anyone out there, I'm sure people probably know him by now, but for anyone out there who doesn't, 19-year-old French player, Tottenham just got him on loan from Munich. So, you get a player from Munich, there's probably some talent there that they recognized. But he only played 8 games for them this season, 1 assist, only had 253 minutes of gameplay. So he really wasn't getting any time. So there's not much you can gauge outside of the fact that Munich knows how to get talented players. So again, there's probably something there. But since coming over to Tottenham and playing, he looks like one of the most dangerous guys on the field. He scored in his first game in the FA Cup against Villa. They lost that game, but I think he had the lone goal. And then in his first game in Gameweek 25, he played a second game of 90 minutes for them. He helped them win. He posted 7 shots, 3 on target, 1 attempted assist, and .73 expected involvement in his first EPL game. He had a lot of chances to score. Frankly, he just didn't find the back of the net. Kind of like a Nico Jackson type problem.
He could have easily had a goal.
Well, here's the thing. Could be nerves, could be youth. He's just learning to play with these new guys. Maybe there's just a little piece of it that's off. If that comes together, the opportunity is absolutely there. Like I said, you can see the talent level. He brings a total change of pace to that offense, which has been struggling all season. He only cost $6 million. There are a couple decent players in that range at midfield: Kluivert, Semenyo, Marino. So I'm not advocating to say, hey, go get Tell right now instead of those guys. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a guy for Gameweek 26, they get Ipswich. He is less than 0.1% owned. And those other teams have a lot of mouths to feed, man. Arsenal, Bournemouth, there's a lot of players in that team that are trying to get goals, trying to get assists. Tottenham doesn't have as many of those guys right now. So he's got that unknown factor if you're into gambling a little bit. I actually picked him up on my team. I'm going to take that opportunity against Ipswich and see what happens. Tottenham's won 2 in a row, 2 shutouts in a row. He's a midfield that lines up in the center for forward. So you get a chance at a shutout on D, and you get a chance at goal and assists. He's going to be their main target because he's got Son out in his left feeding him the ball. So, I mean, if you're worried, like, I don't know if he's going to play yet. He's played 2 games in a row at 90 minutes. He's going to play. They didn't just spend all that money to put him on the bench.
To play Brennan Johnson over him.
Yeah, to fight for middle of the table, right? They're trying to win. So that's my guy. I'm going to play him this week against Ipswich.
He's a workhorse, too, which is...
Oh, yeah. He's quick, too. He's really fast.
I mean, you know what they say. Time will tell.
That was pretty good. I hate that, but that was... Give me some. Come on. Get some of that. That was pretty good.
I like that one, Sean. Spurs haven't had someone, like, usable in the midfield or attacking players for a while, so hopefully he can be that.
Yeah, Son all season has priced people out with his return. Yeah. $6 million. There you go. There's your cheaper version of a midfielder for that team, which plays striker. But so that was mine. Anyone else?
I have kind of a thought, more or less, maybe not for this upcoming week, but
dangerous.
Over the next. Yeah,
dangerous.
It's dangerous when I speak my mind, but kind of going off of what you were saying, Dave, with Erling Haaland, who I know he's unknown. He came out of nowhere, but if you want to get Haaland, you probably have to get rid of Palmer, unless you're going to do something crazy with your team. If you're getting rid of Palmer, obviously you need to still save a decent bit of money.
Yep.
Looking at Brighton's fixtures, someone like Matoma is not a bad option for the next 3-4 weeks. And I pair it with, after 3-4 weeks of Forest, hell of a run they're going to have against all the top dogs, then bringing in your cheap Phil Foden or someone like Alanga is a really interesting option to go between.
Tell them who the cheap Phil Foden is in case
Costco Foden is Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah,
Morgan Gibbs-White, yeah.
Another assist this week, just saying.
Yeah, and Alanga, like, for, what was his price? 5.3. He's a very interesting option, especially against those easier teams that Forest are going to have after their terrible run. So I think it's an interesting opportunity to move off of Palmer, get someone like Matoma for 3-4 weeks. Then once Forest gets over their bad runs, you can bring someone like the Costco Phil Foden or Alanga in, and that's going to give you the funds to go pick up Haaland for the next, rest of the year, really, if he keeps it up.
I like that, and I also like the fact that he has stepped himself up from dollar store Phil Foden with an assist to Costco Phil Foden.
Moving up.
One of these times he's going to be a luxury store brand.
What about Sam's Club? Is that the next?
I think Costco's probably better than Sam's Club, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
jumped
personal
right over
preference, but I'm gonna assume it's the more popular one.
I love watching Matoma play. So
he's so fun.
And like you're saying, Brighton seems to be on a good wave of form now. So I like that one.
His expected minutes sometimes are a little shaky, but I think they went hand in hand with just Brighton had a bad run of games too, of form. So I think if they're firing on all cylinders, Matoma is key to that success. So I always like that guy.
Love it. You mind if I take another one? I'm giving you some credit.
Fine.
Here. I got some credit. I'm gonna give you some credit here, man.
Can you just hurry? Come on.
Oh my God. Don't rush me. Jeez. So, guy I'm talking about, Dave actually talked about him, I want to say 2 weeks ago, Right before he had 13 points against United and then 7 points against Everton. That is JP Mateta. His boy, right? He called that out. I've seen a little more people talking about him on social media, but he's still not. I mean, he's 8% owned, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot. He's not really being like overly talked about right now. He's 8th on the transfer list, so not a lot of people are really bringing him in. Schedule looks good in the next two, man. Or schedule looks good, not great in the next two. Maybe that's why people aren't ready to just jump on because the schedule's not amazing.
I would imagine it has to do with the blank in game week 29.
Yep. But they get Ipswich and Southampton right before that, right? I mean, that's 4 weeks
Southampton
from
right
now,
after
right?
it, yeah.
Or right after, I'm sorry. That's, it's 3 weeks off. So, I mean, I wanted to look at a comparison to, kind of bring people around to the Mateta train, all right? So, if we're looking from game week 20, only one forward has more points than him. Do you know who that is?
Chris Wood.
That is Christopher Wood. He had a hat trick against Brighton in game week 24. It's a big reason for why he's ahead. But when you look at the stats between them from game week 20, eerily similar. All right, so they both played right around 525 minutes. They each have 7 goals. Chris Wood has 12 total shots to Mateta's 14. Chris Wood has 8 shots on target. I said it the wrong way, I know. But
No. I was saying it's scary that he has similar stats because
Chris Wood has 8 on target. Mateta has 10 on target. FPL assists, Wood has 1. Mateta has 0. Attempted assists, 5 and 5. And then the expected goals they're right within 1 of each other, right? So they're basically doing the exact same thing right now. Here's the difference. We just talked about schedule, right? Forest gets Newcastle away, Arsenal home, City home. Crystal Palace gets Fulham away, Villa home, Ipswich home. If I'm going to get a player doing the exact same thing for essentially the exact same price, I think Mateta might be the better. And I love Chris Wood, but Mateta might be the better option right now. He's broken, and this is what you mentioned, which I looked and I was like, holy hell. He's broken expected involvement of 1, 4 out of his last 6 games. He's second in expected goals in those last 6 games, only to Wisa. But the difference is he's scoring 1.33 goals a game compared to Wisa's 0.33. So he's scoring an entire goal more than Wisa on average in each game. I think he's a top 3 option right now. I think him, Wood, and I guess you probably throw Isak in there. You could make the argument why he's number 1. I mean, Haaland's there too as well. You mentioned him, but his price tag's so high.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think, but I did not realize how good he was doing.
No, I love Mateta, and I think if it wasn't for the blank, since I have other players to move out, he would have been in my team a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was in on Palace because I loved Eze for a while, and that just never really materialized. So, yeah, I think the blank is definitely scaring people off. I think his ownership would be way higher. But if you can deal with the blank, if you have free transfers, then, yeah, there's not too many options I would take over him at forward right now.
1.33 expected goals. Man.
I think a good combo for that is the Acuna Mateta. So you play Mateta and then you potentially swap him out for Cunha,
who's also
come game week 29. What a banger of a goal! So
he's good. Yeah, he's
the Acuna Mateta outside again.
Acuna Mateta. No, we definitely.
No, I picked up on it.
Yeah, well,
you're making so many jokes.
Well, you guys didn't laugh and validate me, so how to repeat it?
Don't worry, they're laughing out there for you. You're laughing for them, right?
Thank you.
There you go. Maybe our editor can add a laugh track there, so you feel like you're getting something out of it.
Timestamp for this?
33 minutes and 41 seconds.
A little laugh track. I love that.
There you go.
I'm just gonna watch that on repeat.
Does anyone else have another player before we wrap this up?
No players for me.
No players. You wanted to mention the chip.
I want to talk about
saying ass man, don't you?
I want to talk about the old guys.
Love saying ass man.
You love saying.
I'm not going to say it.
I'll say it for you.
I just wanted to touch on the assistant manager chip, since we're using it now. So we've had some recommendations over the past few weeks. Most people, if you're using it, you're on Slot or Unai Emery this week since they're doubling. But I would recommend pivoting off of that and try to chase the table bonus this next week. There's 3 guys that are my favorites. If you only need somebody for game week 26, Oliver Glasner is my favorite. Palace are in pretty decent form. We just talked about Mateta. They play Fulham, who are 5 places ahead of them in the table. So that feels like the best matchup of the 3 people I'm going to say. Kieran McKenna, Ipswich plays Tottenham at home. Don't know what you're going to get with Tottenham. So I think that's a decent swing to take. I also think Vitor Pereira against Bournemouth. It is away, and it's a tough matchup, but Wolves played all right against Liverpool. So those are my 3 favorite options if you need only somebody for Game Week 26. If you started in Game Week 25 with the double, I still like those same 3 guys. McKenna gets another table bonus. Actually, I don't know if that's true because they play Man United and we're in like 1,000th place. That's a lie. That's not a table bonus opportunity.
Should be a table bonus.
I would go
Might
with
be soon enough.
I'd go with Pereira first because they get 2 with Bournemouth and Fulham. Also keep Glasser and McKenna in mind because they both get 1. Also Ainge for Tottenham, he does also get a table bonus opportunity in Game Week 27. So those are the guys to keep in mind if you're trying to change your ass-manship.
He said it.
He said it.
He did the thing. He did the thing. Cool. So that's pretty much all we got. We have one question this week. We got one question on Instagram.
We have a question?
We have a question from
Rapid fire.
one of our friends, actually, a huge Arsenal fan, Ryan.
Ugh.
Shout out Ryan, baby.
Ryan asks, is Mikel Moreno the new GOAT? What's the answer? I mean, are we talking FPL sense or are we just talking normal sense right now?
Probably
how long did he
FPL.
play for? How many minutes did he play for?
Like
2 goals in what, like 5 minutes?
15. It wasn't a lot.
Maybe he is the new GOAT. Is he new Thierry Henry?
I mean, he's definitely worth watching because they don't have any attacking players. He played 21 minutes.
2 goals.
They can't start Sterling, Trossard, and Waneri and play 90 minutes every game. So someone that is a midfielder is going to get minutes up front. And it's kind of the same logic with Marmouche. I feel like Marino earned an opportunity up there. He came in and scored twice.
It's true.
They've struggled for goals at times without a center forward. So I wouldn't say like buy him yet, but
Definitely not.
if you see him, like whether he starts in the front 3 or he comes in, he's definitely worth keeping an eye on if he starts starting games.
He scored the header against Germany in the semifinal of the Euros, so
All right, so
he's my national GOAT.
we'll give him the LeBron of GOATs, so like close to number 1.
Yeah, but
not
still
quite.
needs to prove a lot.
Still needs to prove a lot to
Yeah.
me before, and maybe stay on one team going forward.
Yeah, that's
He's
a good.
You know what I
He's
mean?
he's a baby goat for now.
Baby goat, Ryan. He's a baby goat.
We'll keep
All
an
There
eye
you go.
on.
All right, that was our question. That's about it, though. We're out of here. So
Oh, hey, see ya.
what? You put a desk up, and the man's just a comical wizard.
I can
It's
definitely see under the table.
unbelievable.
That was pretty bad. That's coming.
It's
terrible, but-
unbelievable.
Anyway, back to you, Sean.
Yeah. All right. Find us out there on Instagram. Find us on X. Obviously, watch
Twitter.
us on YouTube. Find us anywhere you find podcasts. Comment, like, subscribe.
It's free.
And you know what it does?
Doesn't cost you money.
No, it really helps us out.
Oh,
So
too.
we really appreciate it. But yeah, send us any comments. We want to hear from you. We want to answer them. We want to talk. So let us know what you're thinking. And with that, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.